very good evening. This is Primetime News on TV1, coming to you live and direct from Newsfirst studios here in Colombo. I'm Tarushi Kumar Singh and here are your headlines.
SLTB employees announce a strike from midnight. Former Western Province Governor testifies before the Parliamentary Select Committee. SLFP General Secretary reveals the reason behind the Cabinet meeting not being held today. US Secretary of State to tour Sri Lanka at the end of the month. Rain affects Sri Lanka-Bangladesh World Cup encounter.
Now we will have the details of the Parliamentary Special Committee and the former Governor Azad Sari testifying before the committee later on in the bulletin. Before that, speaking at a number of media briefings today, opposition MPs stressed on the need for elections in the country. They also spoke about the activities of the Special Parliamentary Committee.
One of the biggest questions that we have is, who was targeted through this motion that was brought forward by the United National Party together with the joint opposition? When Rishad Badiruddin got caught up in this motion, the members of the joint opposition withdrew from it. The joint opposition distanced themselves from this. The Sri Lanka Freedom Party also distanced themselves from these activities. This received the support of a few UNP members as well. This means that the issue amongst some of them are also highlighted through this. If there is an ongoing court case regarding any matter, according to parliamentary standing orders, they cannot be discussed in Parliament. There have been more than 5 fundamental rights petitions filed regarding this issue already. The Speaker said that the officials will be called to testify before the special committee to reveal details of this incident. He said that if the officials do not attend, action will be taken against them according to the parliamentary process. So who does these state officials listen to? On one hand, these officials are being intimidated by Parliament, and on the other hand, the President is advising the defence officials under him that they do not have to attend these sessions. If this goes on, how will these officials continue their work? This country is facing such a situation today. What else can the country do other than go for elections? The reality today is that there is no government. The President is not holding cabinet meetings. If the cabinet is not functioning, there is nothing that suggests the existence of a government. The functionality of the government is non-existent. The solution to this extraordinary situation is not a caretaker government. The Parliament has to pass a proposal and request the President to dissolve the Parliament in a manner that the 19th Constitutional Amendment will not be violated. This can be done according to the Constitution. This is the solution. Our country gets stagnated each time it clashes with the legislature and the executive. The immediate attention of the President, the Prime Minister, the opposition leader, the party leaders and all the MPs should be on a general election. I would like to add that not only the politicians, the attention of the intellectuals and religious leaders should be focused on an election. This sinful act was committed by none other than Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe himself. He adjourned the Parliament so that it can't be dissolved for 4 years. It was this Prime Minister who tarnished the liberty that the Parliament had to dissolve Parliament by a simple majority by bringing it to a 2/3 majority. And also he confused this further by bringing in an amendment so that a parliamentary resolution was needed to remove the IGP, which could have been simply done by the executive. Therefore, he has a big responsibility in his hands to rescue the country from this crisis. Please join hands with the President and the Parliament and take the country towards an election.
The cancellation of today's usual cabinet meeting and the Parliamentary Special Committee convening despite the objections of the President were discussed in the political arena today. Today the cabinet will not convene. The reason for this is the certain differences in opinion between Parliament and the President. I think the members of this committee along with the Speaker will meet the President by tomorrow. I have received some information on that. A decision should be taken at this meeting. The cabinet is not convening. No matter what the President says at the cabinet meeting, the Speaker has taken a hard stance regarding the Parliamentary Special Committee. During the past, the speaker had always pursued what he thought was the right thing to do.
This crisis originates from the 19th Amendment, so the country is at crisis now. This is a huge problem now. At a time where there is a massive economic crisis, the country is at dire straits. So this is the aspect that our legislative experts should learn. I haven't seen this method anywhere else in the world. Either it should be an executive presidential system or it should be a parliamentary system. Now you don't have that system or this system. We are stuck somewhere in between. Even if the parliament is dissolved, the next government that comes into power cannot overcome this issue.
The Inter-University Students' Federation today responded to the revelation made by the Vice-Chancellor of the Runa University, Professor Specialist Dr. Sujeeva Amarasekar, on discipline at universities.
We think that discipline should be maintained at universities. The main obstacle against maintaining discipline at universities is the Inter-University Students' Federation, who maintains ties with political parties and the students' federations at universities. We have suspended 2 students for violating the security measures that were implemented. The reason for the suspension is they had brought external people for protests on 4 occasions, forcibly, without even letting the security officers search them.
Last week, we had organized a protest march in Colombo demanding for the Batiklaw degree shop to be abolished. The chairman and the general secretary of the Runa University Students' Federation have been suspended over an incident where a number of the Inter-University Students' Federation went into the Runa University to hold discussions with the students.
The number of senior students who participated in this protest that was held in Colombo recently is 0. None of the senior students attended. Over 250 freshmen had participated in the protest. They had forcibly taken all the freshmen for this. They would attack you if you don't participate.
He imposes a law that does not allow any student to remain at the university premises after 8 p.m. If the university premises become off limits after 8 p.m., then this is no longer a university.
The Students' Federation had a room known as the Upper Canteen. They had created a torch room inside this premises. They had blocked entry to this area using metal doors, and they don't allow anyone to go there. They put mattresses inside it and sleep on them. They had rooms where they attacked and tortured students who opposed ragging. There were places they used to commit sexual assault. We found many bad things happening inside universities. The Students' Federation had 2 rooms in the university. I found 2 buckets of used condoms. I think they would have sold off these places as brothel houses.
This is what the Vice-Chancellor of the Runa University is doing. He is walking from room to room checking which rooms have coconuts and which rooms have condoms. We do not know if he wanted some, but these are the things he is searching for.
If the students inside the university are doing something wrong, they are doing so with the consent of the Students' Federation. There are no places where such things are done without the consent of the Students' Federation. It's been 29 years since I entered the university system. I saw these politics every day. I saw this as a student and I had clashed with it then as well. Back then it was conducted by the JVP. Today it is done by the Frontline Socialist Party. Both parties behave the same way.
We are involved in politics. When the government was saying that they will not suspend CITEM, we said that we are against this policy of selling off education. So suspend CITEM. That is our politics.
The main cause for the destruction of the free education system in the country is the Inter-University Students' Federation and the students' movement. They do not protect free education, they completely destroy free education. Why did 50 to 100 of our students give up their courses? They leave because of ragging. They are the people who rag the students. So free education of those 100 students has not been protected. These are all lies.
Now, as mentioned in the headlines, the US Secretary of State Mike Pompeo is expected to visit Colombo, Sri Lanka in 2 weeks. Morgan Ortegas, the State Department spokesperson, made this announcement at the daily press briefing.
I'm pleased to announce that Secretary Pompeo will travel to the Indo-Pacific region on June 24th through the 30th to broaden and deepen our partnership with key countries to advance our shared goal of a free and open Indo-Pacific. The Secretary's first stop will be in New Delhi, India. Prime Minister Modi's recent election victory provides an excellent opportunity for him to implement his vision for a strong and prosperous India that plays a leading role in the global stage. The Secretary will preview elements of a cooperative agenda during his remarks at the U.S.-India Business Council India Idea Summit at the U.S. Chamber of Commerce on June 12th. The Secretary's next stop will be in Colombo, Sri Lanka, where Secretary Pompeo will express America's solidarity with the people of Sri Lanka as they stand united against the despicable Easter Sunday terrorist attacks. He will also discuss promising opportunities for U.S.-Sri Lanka cooperation based on shared commitments to a free and open Indo-Pacific region. The Secretary will travel to Osaka, Japan, to participate in the G20 Leader Summit from June 28th to 29th, the first such gathering hosted by Japan.
Meanwhile, U.S. Ambassador to Sri Lanka, Elena Teplitz, posted a tweet saying, quote, looking forward to welcoming Secretary Pompeo to express solidarity with the people of Sri Lanka after the Easter attack and to discuss ways we can strengthen our partnership and advance security and prosperity in the Indo-Pacific region, unquote.
It is only a few rich and powerful countries that has been controlling the world for the past 3 to 4 centuries. Countries like Canada, the US, Europe and Japan have been in control, and they choose countries like ours to be their obedient followers. There are people in our country who receive education from taxpayers' money and work their way up the ladder, and when they come to a position, they sell off their nation and even their parents for their own benefit. I believe right now we have to identify the people who are behind this tragedy that this country has faced and work to save the country from this situation.
අඳුනා ගැනීම මේ ව්‍යසනයෙන් රට මුදා ගැනීමට මම හිතන අවශ්‍ය කොන්දේසි වලින් එකක් විදියටයි මම දකින්නේ.
තුමා ඇමරිකානු රාජ්‍ය ලේකම්තුමා ලංකාවට එනවා කියලා 26
We have massive international support. It is because of this international support that we are able to arrest all those connected to this international terrorist organization in such a short time span. So we invite all of these countries. Recently, the Indian Prime Minister came to the island. When all of these state officials and state leaders come to the country, the confidence the international community has in us will increase. These officials coming to our country is a good thing. It is something that must happen.
අපිට ඒකට උත්තරයක් දෙන්න අමාරුයි.
හොඳකට නෙවෙයි එන්නේ නේද? ප්‍රශ්නේ හොඳ.
හොඳ නෙවෙයි වෙලාවට. ඊට ඕන උත්තරේ දුන්නා අපිට අමාරුයි.
In more headline making news now, the Jathika Sevaka Sangame of the Sri Lanka Transport Board says all its members will engage in an island-wide strike action with effect from midnight tonight. Secretary of the JSS main branch in Narayanpeta, Ranjit Vijayasiri, said this decision was reached as solutions were not granted to their requests. For almost 2 days, JSS and SLTB workers were protesting opposite the UNP headquarters, Sirikota, and that was called off this evening. Now, Ranjit Vijayasiri said they engaged in the protest, citing several demands, including to make permanent the 5,100 members who were given promotions.
The group arrived at the UNP party headquarters last morning in hopes of holding discussions with the UNP General Secretary, acclaimed Karyavasam, regarding a number of issues, including the failure to grant salary increments in line with their promotions. However, the group later began the protest yesterday, accusing the party General Secretary acclaimed Karyavasam of evading them. The group remained at the party headquarters through the night yesterday, and steps were taken to provide police protection to the area. Minister of Primary Industries and Social Empowerment, Daya Gamage, arrived to the scene of the protest today.
These people have clearly been affected by injustice. During the previous regime, especially at the SLTB, if an employee went for a UNP meeting, he was sidelined. The group present here today were people who were subject to such vengeance. We must correct this. We will be doing that very soon.
A meeting was held this afternoon between the protesters and the General Secretary of the UNP, Minister Akila Karyavasam.
Minister Akila informed that he will not advise us in a manner that would affect the trade union rights. He says that these demands should be given. There will be a discussion with the Prime Minister at 11. Minister Akila and Minister Arjuna will be at the discussion. He said attention will be drawn to this problem. If we do not receive a fair solution, nothing can stop us commencing a strike action tomorrow. Let's bring 2 buses here and go to Narahempita in a systematic manner.
Though it was proposed to shift the protest to the Narahempita SLTB office, the objection of another group resulted in the protesters remaining in Sirikota.
If we pay our membership fee of 50 rupees, we can speak on behalf of the members. If we leave this place and if they lock the gate and deploy the police, how will we come back? Who will speak? Will Ranil ask that we be chased away? No, they won't chase us away. We should remain here.
Newsfirst spoke to the General Secretary of the JSS UNP MP Sirinal Dimel about this issue. He said that it is his opinion that the demands of these employees should be met. He added that he hopes that the leaders will grant their demands and asked that details be obtained from current members of the JSS.
We are in a lot of pain as UNP supporters. There is no need for us to be in hunger and stay here without sleep if the leaders thought about the members of the JSS. We are disappointed that we are only needed for May Day rallies and meetings. How many discussions have they held? It is limited to discussions. We have not received an answer. We will have to wait till Sajith Premadasa becomes the president to solve this issue. Sajith Premadasa has to definitely intervene. The UNPers are now asking for a younger leader. They are not asking for anyone else other than the deputy leader Sajith Premadasa. We will make him the president of this country somehow. The leader can't solve our issue. We will remove him and appoint our deputy leader.
The protesters then engaged in a special discussion at the Sirikota premises.
This is the final stage of our struggle. The employees of all 106 depots will not report for duty after midnight tonight. There is a discussion with the State Minister at the Ministry tomorrow. We will carry forward our struggle. If we receive a favourable solution, we will stop the trade union action.
The protesters then left the Sirikota UNP headquarters.
As we teased earlier on in the bulletin, the Special Parliamentary Committee appointed to probe the April 21st terror attacks had summoned former Governor of the Western Province, Azad Sali, to testify before the committee today.
We met with the 5 of the previous defence secretaries, wrote to them, spoke with them and explained to them the terrorist activities of these Tawhid Jamaat organizations. 2 years ago, we had handed in photographs and documents. During Easter, they hoisted ISIS flags and went on marches. When the Alutgama incident occurred, I made a complaint to the Alutgama police. When this government came into power, they promised a commission to probe the Alutgama incident. But there has been no commission to date. Just before the April 21st attacks, the VIPs received a message from the PST. When I called Secretary Hemasiri Fernando and told him that there is an incident like this and we must meet, he did not come to meet me alone. He brought in everyone.
සුමානකට ඉස්සර. ඒක සිද්ධියට සුමානකට ඉස්සර. ඔව්. දිලන්ත who is the intelligence officer at that time. එයාට මම දීලා ඇති අවුරුදු.
I gave him this information 5 years ago. These photographs. In 2017, Zaran set fire to 120 houses in the eastern province. Not one police station did anything about it. The OIC who was getting ready to arrest him was transferred. The police and the Tawhid Jamaat worked together. I wrote a letter to the Inspector General of Police against this as well. I can provide copies of that as well.
ඒකත් මම කොපි දෙන්න පුළුවන්. ඒ කොපිය දෙන්න. අපි කැම්පර් එක අවුරුද්දද කියලා හරි කියන්නේ. ඒ කොපිය දෙන්න. අපි කැම්පර් නේ? ඒ කොපිය ගමු. බුදුවා කියනවා කාලයක් පපවනවා කියන්න වෙනවා. හරි. අපිට මේකට ලෑස්ති වෙලා මෙන්න කිව්වා නම් අපි මේ ડોකියුමන්ට්ස් ඔක්කොම අරගෙන එනවා. එතකොට මිටියක්ම උස්සගෙන ඉන්න පුළුවන්. ඒ තරම් තියෙනවා. ගෝඨාභය රාජපක්ෂ organizing a protest when you all at the UN session. ඒකට SLTG එකට බාර දීලා තිබුණා ගෝඨාභය රාජපක්ෂ පවුල් පිටින් ගේන්න කියලා. ඉතින් SLTG සාමාන්‍ය ඩෙමොන්ස්ට්‍රේට් කරන්නේ so ඒ නිසා මේක වෙනමම area එකක්. ඒගොල්ලන්ට වෙනමම funds දීලා now everybody knows how funding was done for the Tawhid Jamaat. Not only international but locally. Defense Ministry එකෙන් ගෙවපු එක අපි දන්නවා. මෙයා දෙමළට translate කරපු කුර්ආන් එක තමයි.
We know that money was sprayed from the Defense Ministry. It was the Quran translated to Sinhala from the copy that was translated to Tamil by him that was presented to Mahinda Rajapaksa, Gotabe Rajapaksa, Vimal Veeravansa and Udaya Gammanpilla. Why was this given to them? Look at this connection. When Abdul Razik hears the name Baghdadi, his hair stands straight. So why couldn't this government arrest him?
Where is the country going for? It was meet already evidence ඕනේද?
ඔබතුමාගේ මතකයේ හැටියට උත්තර දෙන්න ආණ්ඩුකාරවරයා හැටියට ඉන්න කාලේ කීවරක් කිව්වද ජනාධිපතිතුමාට?
ජනාධිපතිතුමාට මම හිතන්නේ 3 පාරක් විතර කියලා.
ආරක්ෂක ලේකම්
ආරක්ෂක ලේකම්.
I went to the defense secretary and told him of this. I was shown this list containing 8 names and asked what should be done about it. At that time itself I called Pujit and told him, isn't this what we were saying all along, and why wasn't he arrested?
ඇයි අරස් කරුවේ නැත්තේ? මොකද්ද දුන්න ප්‍රතිචාරය? මොකද කිව්වේ නැහැ. ඉතින් මේක අබ්දුල් රාසික් කවුරුත් දන්නේ නැතුව නෙවෙයි. අබ්දුල් රාසික් විතර නෙවෙයි සාරන්න.
දැන් සාලි මහත්මයා ඔබතුමා කිව්වා මුස්ලිම් කටයුතු අමාත්‍යාංශයට පැමිණිලි කරා කියලා. තවත් කොයි කාලෙද ඒක කරේ?
දැන් වෙන මොකද? ඇත්තම කියනවා නම් මේ ආණ්ඩුව පත් වෙච්ච දින 100
When the 100-day government was appointed, I met with the Prime Minister and said, appoint a better Muslim besides this person for this post. The Prime Minister told me that he will be given this appointment in the 100-day government and afterwards it will be given to someone else. I clearly state that it was because of the minister's brother that this incident occurred and the Tawheed Jamaat came to this state. He was the person who allowed the Tawheed Jamaat mosques to be registered initially.
මම පැහැදිලි ලෙස කියනවා. එයා තමයි තවීද් ජමාතේ පළි රෙජිස්ටර් කරන්න ඉඩකඩ දුන්නේ.
නොයෙකුත් වාර්තා තිබෙනවා. ඒ වෙනකොට සහරාන් රාජ්‍ය බුද්ධ්‍යංශයේ සල්ලි ගෙවන ගේ ඔය කල්ලි 26 දිනකින් එක්කෙනෙක් බව තමුන්නාසි දන්නවා.
සාරාන් ගැන ඒතන නමක් ඇවිල්ලා තිබුණේ නැහැ. SLTJ එකේ අබ්දුල් රාසික්ටයි 26 දිනෙකට ගෙවනවා කියන තමයි නිවුස් එක ඇවිල්ලා තිබුණේ.
රාසික් ගැන ඔබතුමා මිට පෙර කියලා තිබ්බා. මේ ඉන්නේ කොහෙද කියලා
කොළඹ පොලිසියත් එක්ක ඉන්නේ.
ඉතින් ඔබතුමා කියන්නේ මේ අවස්ථාවේ දැනුවත්ව අල්ලන්නේ නැහැ කියන එක.
ඒකනේ මං කිව්වේ. දවස් 3කට ඉස්සර මම
That is what I said. 3 days before I resigned, I told the president about this. He called Seniviratna from the CID. When he was asked about it, he whispered something over the phone, and that was the end of the story. We were not given a reason as to why Abdul Razik was not arrested. So is this evidence that I presented not enough to arrest him?
ඉතින් මම දීලා තියෙන මේ එවිඩන්ස් එක මදිද එයාව අරෙස්ට් කරන්න. මුස්ලිම් ජනතාව මේ වගේ තත්ත්වයකට ඔයගොල්ලෝ පත් කරයි කියලා අපි කවුරුත් හිතුවේ නැහැ.
අපි කියන්නේ කවුද?
ආණ්ඩුව.
නෑ ආණ්ඩුව කියන්නේ
ආණ්ඩුව වගේ කියන්නේ 1 minute please. 1 minute. My emotions please. මල්වාන පල්ලියේ
At the Malvana Mosque, they went and asked who are the 3 people teaching here. All 3 of them are summoned to the Biyagama police.
පොලිස්පතිතුමාට මම කතා කරනකන් ඒගොල්ලෝ බුදිය ගත්තේ මෙහෙම. ඒක මුන් ත්‍රස්තවාදී වෙන්නේ නැද්ද? දැන් මුස්ලිම් ජනතාව සැක කියලා අරස් කරගෙන යනවා. එක පල්ලියක් අත් පාරක් සර්ච් කරනවා. බල්ලෝ ගේනවා.
හමුදා පොලිස් රාජකාරී කරන්න වුණොත් ඒ වාතාවරණය ඇති වුණාම එතකොට හමුදා වලට පොලිසියට ඇඟිලි දික් කරන්න එපා. ඒ වාතාවරණය ඇති කරපු කට්ටිය තමයි ඒකට වා කියන්නේ. හමුදාවේ උගන්නන්නේ නැහැ මේ ගිහිල්ලා ඉවරලා පොලිසිය වගේ හරි ග්‍රාම සේවක නිලධාරි කෙනෙක් හරි වගේ වැඩ කරන්න. 8 දෙනෙක් කරපු වැඩේට මුළු මාත් ජනතාවටම මේ වගේ එකක් කරන එක හරි වැරදි කියලා අපි කිව්වේ. ඒක තමයි අපි කිව්වේ. වෙන මොකුත් නෙවෙයි. ඒකට අනිත් මිනිස්සුව තල්ලු කරන්න එපා එතනටයි කියලා කියන්නේ. වෙන මොකුත් නෙවෙයි. මේ අනාවැකිය දැන් මේකට මාව අතනු ගන්න එපා. ගිය පාර මේ අනාවැකිය කියලා තමයි ඇත අතනු ගත්තේ. මහත්මයා 8 දෙනෙක් කරාට 250ක් මරුණානේ. 500කට තුවාල වුණානේ. ත්‍රස්තවාදී තර්ජනය තාම තියෙනවා කියලාද හිතන්නේ? වෙන්න පුළුවන්. හිතනවා විතරක් නෙවෙයි මේ ප්‍රශ්නේදී තවමත් හරියට කරන්න ඕන දේවල් කරලා නැහැ කියන එක තමයි මම කියන්නේ.
On that note, General Secretary of the SLFP MP Dayasiri Jayasekara spoke of the people who testified before the Parliamentary Special Committee.
What we saw from the information received on the 5th was that Senior DIG Nilanta Jayawardena of the SIS has informed the Chief of National Intelligence, Sisira Mendes, of this attack on the 7th. He should give instructions as to what steps should be taken after that. But those instructions were not given till now. Not only that, the CNI was not in the country at the time. Therefore, I would like to ask, upon receiving such information, what steps were taken by the CNI? Why did he leave the country? Not only that, the Defence Secretary was not in Colombo. He was in Diatalava. According to the information I received, he was at his estate in Kurunagala on the 20th. So is he trying to blame the President for the repercussions of that? The other question is, they say yes to sending this letter to the President's Security Division. But none of them ask whether this letter was sent to the Prime Minister's Security Division. This has been sent to the Prime Minister's Security Division as well. So what did the Chief of the Prime Minister's Security Division do? Minister Kirialla says they received the information on the 4th. I raised this question in Parliament. Who received the information on the 4th? So, Minister Kirialla was aware of this since 4th April. Why didn't they take any action when they knew about this?
Let's now take a look at a few economic indicators in brief.
The CSE recorded a turnover of 411,682,298 rupees today, while both stock market indexes, the All Share Price Index and the S&P SL20 ended on a positive note today. The stock exchange yesterday recorded a turnover of 75.5 million rupees, the second lowest turnover during this year. The lowest turnover during the year was recorded on the 4th of January this year, which amounted to 66.77 million rupees. It adds that during the year up to the 7th of June 2019, the Sri Lankan rupee has appreciated against the US dollar by 3.6%. The gross official reserves were estimated at US dollars 6,732.4 million as at 31st of May 2019. The outstanding stock of treasury bills held by foreigners decreased by 2.38% during the reporting week. Accordingly, the number of treasury bills held by foreigners declined from 146,116 to 142,639.
An event to felicitate internationally acclaimed cinematographers was held at the premises of the Cultural Ministry in Colombo yesterday. The event was held under the patronage of the Deputy Leader of the UNP Minister Sajith Premadasa.
8 cinematographers who won international awards were commended at the event. The minister presented monetary awards to the artists present at the event. The artists also held discussions with the minister about the issues that the industry as well as the artists face.
I hope that this ceremony, organized for you who have won awards both locally and internationally, will inspire and motivate you to perform even better. I believe as a whole the incentives that we provide for arts and cinema is insufficient. We hope to initiate new programs through the Ministry of Cultural Affairs as well as the Film Corporation to motivate you and the entire cinema industry as a whole. It is our duty to create the proper environment for you to nurture and grow your talents. We as government should be responsible to provide with the incentives, support and strength to grow.
The group of Muslim ministers who resigned from their ministerial positions met with the Mahanayak of the Askari chapter, Most Venerable Warakagoda Sri Jnana Ratana Thera and the Mahasangha.
The meeting held at the Askari Mahavihare was also attended by the Anunayaka of the Malwathu chapter, Most Venerable Niyangoda Vijayasiri Thera and the Mahasangha. Former ministers who represent a number of parties were led by former minister A.H.M. Fauzi at the meeting. We value your advice. Although we have no intention of acting against your advice, at this moment we have a responsibility to act according to the decision that we made without creating a wrong impression about it among the general public. We make this sacrifice for a small period of time to create long-lasting peace. Your intention would have been to resign as a group of Muslim MPs and allow for the investigations to be conducted, but the country saw it as if against a backdrop where there were allegations levelled against certain ministers and governors, and when there was a public opinion building up calling for their resignation or removal, all the ministers united and resigned together. That was one of the issues. If any accusations are proved against anyone, take action against them. If not, this story is being twisted every day. There will be several proposals that are put forward by the Reverend Theras in the future. If you are of the opinion that this needs to be solved without being partisan and without going towards extremism, I think this gap will be reduced. We should solve this problem through cordial discussions even in the future. Some politicians and media are the people who say that I am a terrorist. The politicians who are against me are the people who are saying these things. The people who asked me to come to their side during the 52 days with my group and support them are the people who are now saying these things. If there are allegations, then there should be investigations. When there are investigations into 3 or 4 of you, and when all of you resign, there is a suspicion that is created that all of you resigned because you support this. That suspicion is fair.
Taking a look at some cricket news now, the 16th match of the World Cup, which was to be played between Sri Lanka and Bangladesh today, was abandoned